Hey, what's up, you guys? Keyllua here, and I'm about to react to Jubilee. Should I come out to my wife? Honestly, I'm all for people coming out of the closet and living their truth, living their best life. But dang, first of all, I'm like, how long have they been married? Hopefully not too long, because that's wild. All right, let's go.
I love my wife, but I'm gay.
Yo.
Should I come out now?
Yes.
Yes or no?
As soon as possible.
We brought together a group of strangers to help an anonymous person make one of their toughest decisions.
My wife
Bro, why did you marry her?
is the most important person in my life, and I would never want to do anything to hurt her. But I'm also gay, so I'm not sure how to approach it, or even how to
sit shorty down and be like, look, we have something in common. Okay, let me stop.
come out.
After hearing the group's advice, which choice will this person make?
Yo.
This is the dilemma.
I hope he tells her. You never. That's wild. I don't think anybody's gonna be like, no, don't. Like, what the heck?
How long into the relationship did you realize you were gay?
I knew before I got married.
Why did you get...
How did you meet your partner?
We grew up in the same community together. We started off as friends, then best friends, and it grew from there.
Is your partner supportive of everything you do?
Sorry.
In our viewpoints on religion, yes.
That's
in
it.
terms of supporting the LGBT community, no.
Oh, is she...
So religion is a big cornerstone of your guys' relationship?
Is she
We
like...
both grew up in the same religious community, so we both grew up
homophobic?
with the same values and the same social guidelines. So yes.
Yo.
Do you think your wife knows you're gay?
No, she doesn't.
How does she
What
not?
was the main reason as to why you went to the yes side?
I have a few family members in the LGBTQ plus community. I know all their experiences coming out have been positive, at least in the long run. I really thought to myself about him coming here, wanting to, share his truth and, speak to us about it. I knew that it's about time. It's starting to boil over and he needs to come out.
What was your reasoning for marrying a woman even though you knew you were gay?
This is legit all I want to know. Like, I mean, obviously it's probably because he loves her. But, like, I feel like in your heart of hearts, you just gotta pick whatever makes you happy.
I thought that if I got married, that it would change me and that I could become straight.
No.
What are your intentions in life? And how do you want to feel about your life?
I want to be truthful, but I also don't want to hurt the people surrounding me. I'm a very honest person. I don't lie. So the fact that I'm basically living a lie.
I was about to say, to be an honest person, this is a huge lie. Oh, wow.
Now, it gives me a lot of anxiety and depression. But I know if I came out suddenly, it would devastate her.
She'd be
I'm
happy you told her.
bisexual, and I would have never said anything if I ended up falling in love with a man and everything worked out. And I fell in love with a woman, and I didn't want to hide anymore. Being your authentic self is my principle.
So is there an expected fallout that extends beyond just the relationship of you and your wife? Like, is it more than just your guys' relationship that's at stake?
My job is tied to the church, so I could potentially lose my job. I would most likely lose my family.
Oh, it's like one of those, because like some religions, if you mess up, the church like exiles you or some stuff. Like they just don't want anything to do with you.
My friends, my wife, I would lose everything, basically. I would have nothing and no support.
You have the
Are we
support of the
the
LGBTQ
only people who know
community.
about this?
I've never told anyone.
Just based on this information now, you guys can switch to the other side if you want.
Heck no. Not a muscle. That's what I'm talking about. You would just... What?
He was explaining...
Maybe it's just because I'm very much F what people think. And like, yeah, losing your family would be tough. But like, even with all that, the stories I've heard, like when it's super tough and like their family doesn't approve or whatever, and they get like discommunicated from them, they start living their truth. Sure, it's tough, but then they find community elsewhere, normally from what I see, and they seem pretty well adjusted and just happy to finally be able to be their authentic self. So I'm very big on being your authentic self. So I wouldn't tell him like not say anything.
What's at stake if he comes out immediately? Because of that, the more I thought about that, the more I was like, you know what? He's going to be losing literally everything because of this. So I feel like he needs to have some sort of plan in motion first.
The reason I said no, I'm bisexual. Same as you. It took me a cool minute to kind of come to terms with that. So it's like, I look more at like, am I safe? If you do, gone. You could lose a lot of things that you've built up on this foundation.
Have you at all considered reaching out to therapy or some sort of counseling to help you through this process?
In the community I live in, it's a little bit hard to find counseling. I live in a more rural area, so the majority of counselors are based through the church.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your relationship with God? And has there been moments where you've personally experienced Him guide you?
Yeah, I would say, faith has been a deciding factor in all things that I do in my life, and that I don't, follow God blindly. I've felt Him work in my life before. So for me, it's a real relationship that I have, and it's the most important relationship I have. God goes before everything else.
Well, you'll still have that.
Faith is just a huge factor for my truth. To me, that's what I resonated the most. So I wanted to be that representation of like, hey, if you just go in with blind faith, it could still work out.
If you show who you really are to somebody, to anybody, they're gonna show you who they are, like 100% of the time. And if you're surrounding yourself with people who are kind of not in support of the person that you really are, then that's not a healthy situation to be in. And I think he should 100% come out today.
I'm bisexual. It took me a cool minute. One of my, I'm not gonna name names, I'll say a family member, told my parents. It gave me a lot of anxiety. It was like, am I gonna get kicked out? I'm gonna stay here. Are they upset with me? It was very much like, okay, whatever, I don't wanna talk to you right now. And it's like, I know coming out, like everyone's like, do it, it's great, you'll feel better. But for me, coming out, it made me feel worse.
Really?
Like, I lived my truth, but it didn't make me feel the way I wanted to feel.
I believe that everybody should live their truth. You're not emotionally responsible for anybody. You don't owe anybody your life. You be you, and they'll figure out how to be them.
I think it's different, like you're saying, you're not responsible for other people's feelings, but it is, I know the guilt that I would feel as like a husband to be hiding something from my wife is like horrible.
Yeah, because like, let's also not forget that they are married. They have vows.
Yeah.
And part of
There's
those
a lot
vows
attached
is
to
to
that.
tell the truth. You know what I mean? Because you're taking away another person's ability to live in reality, and that's wrong.
I do want to point out that I'm not necessarily saying that he should wait like years to come out. I'm just saying maybe take just like a couple months. Like I would say go to counseling, go to therapy, figure out who you are, and who you are even without the church and without your wife and without all of that stuff. Once you figure all that out, then you can start going through that process of how am I going to come out.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think he should.
He's still saying come out, but he's in the no box, and I think that's given conflicting advice. You should probably move a little bit and be like, yeah, I'm in the yes box, but with a caveat sort of thing.
I think the focus should be more like him just finding himself, like all that planning, like where's he gonna go and all that stuff. Yeah, those are tough questions, but it doesn't have to be answered right now because, it takes baby steps.
What?
Coming out is not ripping off a Band-Aid. It comes with so much anxiety. It comes with so much fallbacks depending on who you are, where your community is aligned, you know what I mean? And it shouldn't just be ripped off, because even ripping off Band-Aids hurt. You know what I mean? It's not a painless process just because it's quick. And
should I
people
come
really
out
need to understand
now?
that.
Okay, I see. It's not whether he should come out, whether he should not. It's when. Okay.
Was there anything in the discussion that caught your attention in some way?
I think when they were mentioning when you come out, like right now, that person will show their true colors to me. That resonated with me because that is true. The other issue that was brought up was the point of counseling and kind of preparing myself. I feel like that could be beneficial.
Yeah, that was really good advice.
I think there was too much discussion of what's step 10, what's step 7, what do we do like 3 stages from now?
I think that's what he's gonna get. I think what he needs from us is comfort.
Like ultimately, at the end of the day, people are going to be people, and you can't predict how someone's going to react.
Right.
Also, I've met people who've been in a dangerous situation because they came out.
So the biggest concern
My
is
community.
safety.
So one thing we talked about was not necessarily needing a plan because your dilemma isn't coming out to the world right now, but it's coming out to your wife, like your partner. And just as a married man of faith, you said your wife grew up in the church with you and you grew up in the church, and so your wife possesses those fruits of the Spirit that are like patience and kindness. And I think those attributes, like you said, it sounds like are in her. And so she would be loving and kind and patient with you.
One of the things I want to just encourage you on is that you've been in a vulnerable position before where you had to put your whole trust in God and He came through. So I just encourage you to sometimes be okay with taking just the first step forward, and everything else you could figure out along the way.
So I first want to be clear that yes, you should come out, but you should definitely wait and give it a little bit more time. Because we're worried about your safety, number one. The other thing too is that you need resources and you need time to get those resources. Like I said, like these divorce processes and everything, they don't take a week. And then it's all about your community, right? Personally, me and my family is super religious, so I very much understand where you're coming from about investing so much time in your community and the sense of—
I wonder if they have like resources for him, get him started, something, pamphlet, something.
Loss that comes with it, but you have to understand that you'll be fine, your relationship with God will be fine, but this is a very tough decision that is more than that.
Jacob, how are you feeling right now?
I was very like almost
feeling
50-50.
like I got a lot of just helpful words that have helped me kind of put together an idea of what I want to do going forward.
Have you made a decision in your mind right now?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, kid? Oh, he's gonna pick a box. I feel like he's gonna pick the weight one, because that sounds less stressful. Like, he's gonna tell her, but like, you know what I'm saying? Not immediately. It was tiring, but I just felt like...
home, you know, I told my wife that I wanted to do counseling. And we've been meeting with a wonderful counselor, and she has just been able to give us a lot of tools to work with.
What kind of
We
counselor?
meet one-on-one, so I get a chance to be very open with her about how I feel. So I think within the next few months, definitely, I'll be ready to fully come out and just prepare myself and my wife for that.
I knew it, yeah. Cause like this is a big decision. It was tiring.
I feel like
I did a lot of work, a lot of yoga, but I just felt restless. So I was like, I need to react.
It's gonna be hard.
Well, I wanted to watch this video anyway, so.
I feel a bit of closure in the sense that I know what I want to do now.
How was your day?
Well, I do believe that it's a decision to made faithfully through God. I also think that it should be a decision that's made with the help of a counselor. I think that it's only fair to my wife that when I come out, I do it in a way that's not only safe for me, but safe for her, and to make sure that I have the resources I need in case something does go wrong.
Aw, good hug. Those pants don't fit that well on him, but...
people that I've ever opened up to about this, so it was...
I know that if you hit that wall of just like, I don't feel like no one's gonna support me, no one has my back, know that we have your back.
Aww.
You know, in spirit, from the distance, like you have people who believe in you and who's gonna support you, you know, who want you to be happy, and you deserve that.
That's nice. That's very nice of her.